I'm Manu. I'm a boat builder from Belgium. These last month I've been working on the installation of the clamps and shelves of the accommodation deck at the aft of the boat. The crew was Ben, a Canadian boat builder, Lasse, a German carpenter from Les Compagnons, Charlie, British sailor, and also someone that came in the middle of the process, Alejandro, a Costa Rican. We started the adventure with fastening the first clamps and shelves that are continuing a little bit down under the main deck clamps and shelves. So we started with very big and heavy pieces of guapinol. Extremely heavy, both to bring inside the ship and to just fit them on. The steaming was extremely heavy, we needed a lot of people all the time. So every piece, more or less, had to be steamed, even if it was for a small curve or anything. It has been a bit of a difficult job because of the curve and the twist we have at the end of the boat, and also because the last shelf that is all the way at the end is not following the same line as the clamps. They're separating at a point. The reason why is because the accommodation deck just continues straight, but the clamp just continue all the way to the transom of the boat.
My name's Charlie. I'm from Manchester in England, and I've been here for about 5 months now. Before I came here, I was working on a boat as a sailor called the Tres Hombres, which brought me from Holland, where before then I was working reefing the Tres Hombres and working on another wooden boat there. And then the Tres Hombres brought me here and then dropped me off in Martinique. Pretty much for the whole time I've been here, I've been in the aft on the inside. Fairing the aft maybe 15 frames at first, both port and starboard, and then installing the clamp and the shelf. Yeah, it took ages. Like, it's hard. Like it's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done. So every time though I wanted to fit it, it was like an afternoon at least of heavy duty clamping to get it in the position that we wanted it. It was kind of tiring in that sense.
And we continue by putting the shelf on top of it. These ones were Tamarindo, almost impossible to shave down. We had every 10-15 minutes, we had to resharpen the electric planes. We just continued at one moment with the chainsaw to just remove wood with the chainsaw because it was just going a lot faster. Yeah, essentially Tamarindo has too much silica in it. It's like sand, and it's literally like planing down stone. So like electric blades and the bearings of them, of the electric blades, like don't hold very long.
When they were steam, we couldn't steam them enough. Like they really sprung back quite a bit.
I was extremely afraid at one moment because I just saw the whole gap in between the piece and the rest of the framing, and I was like, what the f is that? So we keep fighting, and we managed to clamp it all in. It was very scary at one moment to see all the bend that the piece would have to do. So we improve and we learn every day. But also before installing these shelves at the aft, because they were riding on top of two of the ceiling planks, we had to install these planks before. And that made everything a lot more difficult for all the clamping of these pieces in, and the bolting and everything. That plank is extremely hard to put because it takes a lot of shape very quickly. This is literally where we have like the most twist, but we improved little by little. We learned, for example, that metal clamps didn't work so well, so we improved by making these wooden clamps that hold a lot more power.
It's the biggest, longest and thickest plank I've ever made in hardwood. Never made a plank in hardwood before, so it's pretty, that was pretty challenging, yeah.
Normally the ceiling would be made of Spanish cedar, but these pieces we made out of guapinol because of durability. I've taught Alejandro a little bit on installing planks, essentially. That's when he stepped in, when we were installing the planks that the shelf was going to ride on.
Mi nombre es Alejandro Solís, soy de Guasimal de Punta Arenas, una comunidad aledaña acá. Estudié construcción civil, luego me mantuve por varios años trabajando en remodelaciones, construcciones y eso. Y un amigo me comentó en algún momento de que existía este proyecto, luego cosas que pasan, trabajaba con otro amigo una máquina de cerrar madera, Woodmiser, entonces vinimos a cerrar acá, conocí a Links y ahí hice un poco de amistad con él, me interesó mucho y quería pertenecer al proyecto y se dio. Más o menos 8 meses ya tenemos de estar aquí en el proyecto. Generalmente vivo acá en el astillero, algunos días viajo a casa, pero casi que la mayoría del tiempo estoy acá y un yard de más. Sí. Contentísimo porque eso es lo que uno quiere pertenecer a construir la nave.
¿En qué has trabajado desde que estás en el barco?
Preparando las costillas para colocar los soportes que sostienen los baos para el deck. Sí, en la construcción de diferentes cosas, en metal, en concreto, madera, pero una experiencia como esta, ¿no? Es la primera vez y buenísimo, me encanta. Un poquillo complicado por lo del idioma, porque yo no hablo inglés y algunos de los compañeros el español es un poco limitado, pero con los días se aprenden frases, se aprenden palabras y ya la comunicación cada día es mejor y ya uno aprende qué es exactamente lo que hay que hacer y vamos. Como le digo, casi todos los días es aprendizaje y aprendizaje. Sí.
One of these planks had a rabbet cut into it for the ventilation of the boat, and hopefully that's going to help all the frames, all the planking, ceiling, to get them going a bit longer. Once we installed these planks, which fasten the shelves once and for all onto these planks, we bolted them, we trundled them, really needed strong bolts to keep everything a very nice fit.
because we spent a bit of time leveling everything. Pull the shelf, make it all level and kind of flat and stuff. Now the beams just kind of sit down really nicely on it, and it's really satisfying. I mean, everything's just like a lot bigger than anywhere else. I mean, there's nowhere else you could have done it before. So everything, you have to learn in a lesson, everything you do. Right? It's pretty cool, or pretty hard also.
Ahora estamos colocando los vados últimos de acá de popa para el piso de las habitaciones, que ya son las últimas del deck.